First we set up a tent. What has happened with your hair? I had really long hair. I'm just gonna pick up the wildlife camera. How do you stay inspired with wildlife photography and motivated? You work so hard to find the pine marten, and I respect it very much. Next question is from Jacob Bro. It's a great channel, congrats. Question 1. You mentioned that you were inspired by Morten Hilmer in one of your videos. Is there any other wildlife photographer that inspired you to make this channel? Question 2. Have you thought about making a video with another wildlife photographer like Mr. Hilmer did with Brendan Van Son or Nigel Dawson? I said in that video, and I remember that, I think it's the first video where like really fieldcraft and looking for badgers and different birds, right? It's one of my best videos actually, and I'm really glad that you people enjoyed that. I said that this video is inspired by Morten Hilmer's video, and it definitely is. And Morten Hilmer had quite an influence on me since I do nature videos, but this channel was not inspired or created by that inspiration for wildlife photography or nature photography. I just always wanted to make videos, and I think the first time I tried to record a vlog was when I was hitchhiking through the Lofoten Islands in Vesterålen, 2017. This is already day number 3. I recorded some videos with a GoPro back then. Besides my photos, and lost it at a campsite. It looks simply amazing. It's beautiful. But yeah, then that project fell apart and I had much to do with my master degree, so I never really got there that I started vlogging in itself. Then in 2019 I was done with my studies and I just started. And you see the first video that's still available on this channel is a vlog about how I moved again to Norway. And there were a few videos before that were kind of a road trip in Germany, but I don't like these videos anymore. If any one of you wants to see them, I can get you a private link or something, but they're really not that good. So I removed them, and when I then actually in the middle of 2019 I got to know the videos of Morten Hilmer. And that really inspired a lot. And then I also saw TROND WESTBY, for example, which I think is one of, when you see the picture quality of the wildlife shots, he's one of the best YouTube photographers out there in any case, in general good photographer. That just brought more in this inspiration to go more from nature and landscape, especially more over to wildlife. And in wildlife I felt I could do so much more down here in the south, because I had problems with the landscape here and how to really make it look nice. I'm still struggling with that. So wildlife seemed to be a better option for me, like going from like an opportunist to really trying to hunt after the animals. These people had an inspiration on my content, but not on the creation of the channel. Your second question is regarding making collaboration videos, and I really would enjoy to make collaboration videos. I just don't know anyone and anyone close. I would not do it with anyone that is really geared towards travel, because I don't want to really inspire people to travel too much. I want to inspire people to travel in a way locally and enjoy their surroundings, because it's just better. I'm also restraining myself to travel not so much. And what you will see on this channel is mostly like Scandinavia and mostly Norway. I'm not traveling home so much to my family right now. I can't, which makes me a bit sad. It has been a year since I see my family, for example. So yeah, I would collab with people from somewhere here. For example, TROND WESTBY. I would really like to collab with him, but he's so much bigger than me. I talked a bit to him, he's a really nice guy, and he gave some feedback on some videos, which is like super kind, but I'm too shy to ask him to do something together yet. I will maybe do that soon if I feel inspired and brave enough to ask him to do that. But I also know that Trond likes to go out alone, and it makes sense in wildlife photography. But I saw that he also does some collaborations, like small collaborations with other YouTubers. So, Trond, if you see this by any chance, you're great, and I would like to make a video of some sort with you. or any other small YouTuber that's around here, which is nice, which likes to go out, because I would like to go and do these trips, maybe not alone. It would be nice, because the forest can be scary at night as well. Okay, we have two more questions, or two more comments, a bit more on the questions. And the bird dude says, congratulations, what is your most memorable moment in wildlife photography? And also, what vlogging camera do you use? And I want to answer the later question first, because it's easy, and I use the Z6 at the moment. I always see people in videos asking on other videos, like other people, like MORTEN HILMER, for example, how can you vlog with the Z6? How do you do it? And I think it's pretty easy. I put it on face detection, I turn it around, and I film myself. And I'm really glad that the screen doesn't turn around, because I don't necessarily need that for vlogging, and I don't need to see my face all the time, because I have to see it for some hours while I'm editing. It's kind of annoying to see your own face the whole time. So I'm really glad that there's actually no switch around. Sometimes it could be maybe useful a bit, but you can also just use your phone and use the app to control the camera remote, which doesn't go when you have it on your hand, but that's easy. I started with the D750, and that was more of a struggle, because with that camera you don't have silent focus on the lenses, so face detection not good. So that question easily answered. Now the first question, what was my most memorable moment? And I thought a bit about it, and I was tending to say it's the muskox on Dovrefjell, or the Arctic fox on Dovrefjell, or the Arctic fox on Svalbard. But I think it's none of those, because the Arctic fox on Svalbard it was too easy. I knew that the animals are around in that area, and I got a shot. So it was not that hard. And they seem to be quite used to humans in that specific area. So it was not too hard. And it's memorable, but it's not the most memorable. And then there is also the Arctic fox on Dovrefjell and the muskox, and it's like I expected to maybe see them there. They live there, so it's not as special to me as the thing I'm now gonna talk about, which is actually the badger. And I don't have a nice photo of the badger yet, but it kept like the inspiration in me and the motivation in me going up again. So also that for you, Tony, because because the pine marten did that to me, and now the badger did that to me. I want to really get a really great photo of the badger. I'm glad that I already got a photo, and I'm glad that I could take you a bit on the process. But I'm really dreaming of really nice conditions with the badger, where I get maybe backlight photos in the evening on the fields. I don't know yet, but that's one of my new goals, getting a really good badger photo. And that moment sitting there, even though it was the dark forest, the badger came so close to me. Unbelievable. Nearly, I think, less than 2 meters. And I kept so quiet, and I was so tense, and I worked for days to get that photo. And even though it's not the greatest photo, it's just really memorable. I would say that's my real moment in wildlife photography so far that I enjoyed the most, because everything before that was a bit opportunistic. This year it's so serious that this happened and that worked so great. So I'm really... Thanks for the question, Bird Dude. That I had to think a bit about that, but I wanted to keep it short, so yeah, that was great. Okay, we're coming already to the last question of the day, and I want to record it now because it's just the angle gets so flat that I will not have that much light anymore soon. I can only do low light photography. And it comes from, I don't know how to say your name, Kom Raxi. You said a lot about the dog, and you also said, I am a bit surprised of the decision considering the challenges of having a dog while interacting with wildlife. I want him to be trained so that he can be quiet around wildlife. I think he's a clever enough breed to do that. This channel is also just about outdoors and not necessarily wildlife, but just staying outdoors like right now. And he's more for that and hiking. If we do a big hiking trip, I want to record that as well. I haven't done that since the channel is there, but I have done that before. I crossed the Dolomites, for example, and the dog will outrun me, and I would really like to do something with him like that. So just to put it in context, not necessarily for the wildlife photography. And I liked your comment really much because since you're asking for questions for your 1K special, I have a very unoriginal one to lighten up the Q&A session. And I thought now something really superstitious comes, but you say you describe yourself as wildlife photographer, nature filmmaker, outdoor enthusiast. What are your thoughts about the fact that we as humans, together with our domestic animals, are quickly eradicating wildlife and destroying nature? And that was one of the questions that I saw the first time, and I thought about a lot, and I tried not to make a too clear and planned answer to that. But there are a lot of things to think about, and I think the damage that is done to our environment by habitat loss, by carbon emissions, which leads to climate change, of course, it is nearly unbearable. For me personally, I think it's a lot of fuel for depression and bad thoughts, and it's really hard to shake it off. And I'm always scared, if I shake it off, to feel a bit better, if that's actually not so good, because that's a thing that you should be aware of. But it's a thing where you have to try to stay hopeful, because you don't really have anything else to do. And a lot of people talk about climate change, but you talk especially about wildlife, nature, eradicating the spaces, and that's one big threat to our nature is habitat loss. One of the biggest ones for loss in species abundancy. And there are a lot of examples also here locally. For example, they built a highway they started last year, shortly after I moved here. And it's like they build a new highway and they completely rip the forest apart, and it's really painful to see that, honestly. So it's also part of the forest that I spent a lot of time in this year, and it's just to build a faster highway. And yeah, honestly, the highways in Norway, that existing one, it's not really big. It's 2 lanes, one in each direction. It's just in Norway like that, and it's built on the old horse roads. So it's a bit windy, and it's not perfectly to get anywhere fast, but sometimes I think you have to put in the time to get somewhere, and if not, you don't really deserve to go there. And I think they could have taken the money, and there's a lot of opinion from my girlfriend in there because she knows more about that than me. But it makes sense to me that they could have taken the money and put it more into building better train tracks, because there are not too many in Norway, making the train just better, like for the society, for the community, against climate change, because Norway always is so high on, we do so good for nature, but then you see this and you feel like, yeah, these decisions are kind of wrong. Or they could have taken the money and made the old highway a bit more secure. There's for parts there's no separation in the middle or something. Like, think about other solutions, making the lanes a bit wider instead of just blasting through the landscape and making a huge trench for a highway just to get there from Kristiansand to Stavanger in, I don't know, an hour less. And I think that's not worth it to destroy so much habitat, and it's a lot to think about, and I don't want to make it too long, because I think we all have our thoughts on that, because most of the people watching this channel are into nature and wildlife. And it's just really to consider, like, do I have to travel so far? Do I have to eat meat all the time? Do we have to destroy nature to build a faster highway? Yeah, it's all these questions, and not all of these things I think are necessary. The highway will be built. But yeah, there's still things we can change and hopefully make this place a better one. Thank you for the question. It's really, we can still talk about that in the comments maybe, if you guys have to say something about that, because that's really, it's an easy question, kind of, but it's an important one. So thanks for asking. I thought we had so much time, but now it's nearly 6 o'clock, or it's even already 6 o'clock. I have to make food soon, and at around 7 the sun goes down, so it's already getting a bit dark. Still quite a nice weather. Just flew the drone for a bit more footage, and I will check a bit and see, have a look on the footage now. because the battery I only normally use it once to fly once, and then I will never, basically never start with a half a battery or something, because then the risk is too great to lose the drone. I'll just have a look on what I just got, and then I think we make some food and enjoy ourselves, and this video will come to a close soon. But yeah, I thank you so much for watching already, and again for the questions and just the opportunity to make videos and have an audience. That's really nice. I'm really grateful. I had some good wraps before I left, so I'm not that hungry, but I brought out some prepared dried fruit, and it's rice and veggies. I haven't had that before, so I'm curious to try it, but I'm still not that hungry. But I can also just close it and wait a bit, but I want to cook it before it gets dark, because I don't want to put my hands on fire and stuff when it's dark, because I'm not so good at that, and you see that I don't see so well. And I'm a bit clumsy, so I don't want to risk to burn down anything. So we're just gonna make some food now, and after that I just hop into the tent and I read a bit. I still have some book to read, and right now I'm just really happy, even though the mosquitoes are annoying, but it's so peaceful out here. I just haven't had that in a while, and that's something really to look forward to and be happy about, until I can enjoy this again and look after some animals. So, yeah. Got my jacket on to just insulate myself a bit better. Food's nearly done, and now I'm actually hungry. Because now that it can feel that it gets a bit colder, I can feel the need for a bit more energy. I thank you so much for tuning in, asking the questions, tuning in, watching my videos. It's just has been a great year, and if you have more questions, just leave them down below, and we make another video at some point. I will not forget about them if you ask them now and the video comes half a year from now. I will come back here and write them down. And also, it's just so nice to be outside. I hope that the answers were satisfying enough. Some questions could have had better and longer answers, I think, but there's always so much and so long I can make a video before it gets uninteresting, right? Doesn't look so beautiful, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna taste good enough. Now we just close it and wait 8 more minutes. Thank you for tuning in. I will soon go to sleep, read a bit in the tent, enjoy my night outside, and I hope you also find some time to go out, wherever you are, and I hope you take care in these times. I just hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, click the like button, subscribe if you're new here. Well, 2,000 subscribers, and to you for making that possible. Have a great night. I certainly have a really good one. Well, this is way too hot to eat it right now, and my hand is burning away. Yeah, I'm just gonna do that for some long time.